Welcome to our December 2023 edition of Quick Kit. I know it's a little bit late, but our team needed a break over the holiday period, but we are now back. Anyway, links to everything we mentioned will be down in the description below. First off, DJI released their X9 8K sensor gimbal camera for their Ronin 4D system. This was something DJI announced with the release of the 4D back in 2021, but it has taken them a good while to get it to market. When paired with the 4D, this new sensor can capture full frame 8K up to 60 frames per second and uncropped 4K up to 120 frames per second. It has a dual native ISO, which changes depending on a few different settings, and it features a dynamic range expansion mode. It's available to buy separately for existing 4D owners or bundled with the 4D. We currently have one in for testing, so let us know if you have any questions about it down below. Freefly have released an update for their Ember camera, which adds the ability to stabilise your footage using the Ember's iOS app. You can do this by connecting the Ember or an external hard drive with Ember clips on to your iOS device, and then you can select the area that you want to export and stabilise. There are some caveats here, but it's a good addition and does seem to work well. The new firmware for the camera and the update for the iOS app are available now, links to which are down below. And if you haven't seen our in-depth review of the Freefly Ember, make sure to check it out. Freefly also released firmware 2.3 for their range of Movi stabilizers. ARRI have announced their new ecosystem of accessories for the Sony BURANO. These will be available in 4 different sets: Basic Cine, Basic Broadcast, Pro Cine, and Pro Broadcast. The basic sets include a top plate and then a different bottom plate configuration depending on what you need. The Broadcast set including the Broadcast shoulder pad, whereas the Cine includes a BPA 5 instead. The Pro sets include much more. ARRI have reused some of the existing Venice 2 accessories, as some of them still work with the BURANO. I think between these and Wooden Camera's Elite accessory system, both owner-operators and rental houses have some great options to choose from now. With the BURANO getting closer to release, we are running more and more events around the BURANO in our London showroom. So if you want to get your hands on the camera or any accessories for it, check out our events page below. ARRI also released their Trinity Skater, which should help speed up balancing of the Trinity system. They also released SUP 2.1 for the High 5, which brings a range of updates and changes, and it's available to download right now. Blazar, which used to be Greatjoy, have announced their latest series of 1.5 times anamorphic primes, the Remus. There are so many anamorphic options on the market now, but these do look pretty unique. The first thing worth looking at is how light and compact they are, given that they can cover a full 36x24 3x2 sensor. This means that they will work great on smaller mirrorless cameras as well as the Ronin 4D, which I think could make a really nice combo with these. Currently there are 3 focal lengths, 45, 65 and 100mm. The 45 and 65mm have a maximum aperture of t2 and the 100mm is t2.8. They are available in both EF and PL, have 16 iris blades, are available with either blue or amber flares, and have decently consistent size and weight. From the images that I've seen, the image they produce looks pretty good, given their design and price, but I do want to get them in-house to run through some of our regular testing. Let us know if you want us to check them out down below. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. And if you want to buy anything you see in this video or any other filmmaking or photography gear, head over to cvp.com where our experienced team is waiting to help you. Canon has released updates for the C70 and the R5C. They are quite similar, but there are some slight differences. This includes adding support for a range of their new lenses like the RF mount CNEs and the updated control and performance tweaks for the new 24-105 f2.8 and a slight tweak in the naming conventions of proxies. The C70 also had a few extra things added, including a new digital teleconverter, improved vector scopes, and support for the RC IP1000. We will be doing an update video on the 24-105 f2.8 with this new firmware as soon as we get our hands on a production version of the lens. After the huge success of our Stories in Motion film competition at the beginning of 2023, we are pleased to announce that we are partnering with Canon again to bring it back for another year. This exciting competition is open to all young creatives aged 18 to 25 who will get the chance to show off their work within 3 different categories: music video, documentary, and scripted short. 5 nominees will be selected from each category and invited to join us for a special celebratory evening in London, where winners will be awarded a variety of prizes, including the grand prize, a C70 and an RF 24-70 f2.8 lens. Judging the entries will be cinematographer Tanya Freemuth, colorist and videographer Ollie Kenchington, cinematographer and photographer Alyssa Enakone, as well as myself. All entries must be submitted by the 31st of March 2024, and full details of the competition can be found at cvp.com/storiesinmotion, which we have linked down below. Aputure announced pricing and availability for their series of Electro Storm fixtures, the CS15 and the XT26. These are some seriously beefy looking fixtures, and are definitely aimed more at the higher end user with their feature set and pricing. The CS15 is a 1500 watt full colour RGBWW LED fixture, whereas the XT26 is a 2600 watt bi-colour LED fixture that gets close to the same output as a 4K HMI. Both fixtures use a new liquid cooled system to keep them cool and quiet. The modifier mounting system can take both Bowen's and Aputure's new A mount, which has an electronic connection on it as well. The fixtures at release will have 3 available reflectors, and a 14-inch Fresnel, which can have its beam angle controlled thanks to this new electronic A mount connector. They will also be compatible with Aputure's new motorized yoke, which looks really cool. Overall, they look like really solid high-end additions to Aputure's lineup, and I'm excited for us to get them in-house for us to properly put through their paces. Modulate released PL variants of their tuner variable lens adapters. These will be available for both E and RF mount cameras in 3 different versions. These have been available in EF for a few months now, and these new PL variants will allow a whole range of new lenses to be combined with them to make some interesting looks. There are 3 different versions currently available: L1 that is inspired by the Blazar look, L2 that is inspired by the K35 look, and L3 which is based around classic anamorphic characteristics. If these sound interesting to you, it's worth checking that your lenses are compatible, as certain rear lens depths will not work with these new PL adapters. We are planning on doing a video on them, so let us know if you have any questions or what you want to see tested with them in the comments below. Right, let's get into our quickfire honourable mentions. Links to details about these are in the description below. Ambient released a slim version of their Quick Pole Series 5 boom pole. Blackmagic released Resolve 18.6.4, Camera Update 8.5, Representer Update 3.4, and an interesting mod kit for the Pocket 4K and 6K hit Kickstarter. Hollyland announced their latest wireless video system, the Mars 400S Pro 2. Condor Blue released a new phone clamp designed with Tyler Stallman, aimed at shooting better vertical video when pairing different accessories with an iPhone. This could be combined with their other release, a MagSafe CF Express Type B recording module for iPhone, co-designed with Angelbird. Mutiny announced the X side plate for the Komodo X, and it looks pretty awesome. Tentacle have released new firmware for their Tracky recorder. Tiffin released a series of ND polarizers for the DJI Osmo Pocket 3. Tilta released the Illusion series of filters for their Mirage Mapbox system. Teased their new iPhone 15 accessory ecosystem, the Kronos. And lastly, released new firmware for the Nano 2. Tokina have announced their Vista P series of lenses, which are based on the original Vista lenses but have a more vintage look. Panasonic announced a new firmware update for the Lumix G9 II. Rode has acquired Mackie. Vaxis released their Lightcom full duplex intercom system, and lastly Viltrox released the ET10-2 E-mount for Zcam flagship cameras, and the EF FX1, which is a Fuji X to Canon EF mount adapter. If you enjoyed this, please make sure you subscribe ready for next month's quick kit, and let us know what kit you've picked up this month in the comments below, and thank you so much for watching.